What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to the second episode of The Promised Neverland Season 2. Their episode titles are very imaginative, with Episode 2. Yeah, they're not very imaginative, but whatever. So yeah, first episode, I'll be honest, it's rough to compare it to the first season, because the first episode of Promised Neverland Season 1 was brilliant because it set up the entire premise of the show and had that creepiness factor to it. This episode that we just watched last week didn't really hit that kind of beat. The demons that we're chasing weren't exactly that terrifying, necessarily, because we kind of knew they were coming and it was kind of expected. And then, like, all the information about using, like, the pen as, like, a holographic map and all the code stuff, it's like, that felt like it was just all thrust upon us just to show, hey, we figured all this out in the meantime. Since we've been running, we figured all this out, and that's why we're going this way. Okay, now let's go. It just felt really rushed. And for a show that's only got 11 episodes, it makes me question, couldn't you have eased us into that a bit more? Like, you could have made this a 13-episoder, have an episode entirely dedicated to finding out about this pen and such. Like, that would have been an easier way to ease it into him, I think. Like, personally, that's how I would have felt. But I guess you have to have a bit of a, I guess they wanted to end the first episode on the, oh, we're being helped by demons twist. I guess that's kind of why they decided to rush through it, because they wanted that first episode to be like, holy shit, the demons aren't all evil? And it's like, okay, sure. I mean, that is kind of an interesting twist. I mean, I wouldn't say it's wholly unexpected, just because if there are human settlements outside of the farms, it would make sense that they have to have some form of cooperation from demons, otherwise they wouldn't be able to live quite as free as they would be otherwise. I don't think any human living outside of the farms is necessarily free. I think they're constantly being hunted down, but, you know, I guess that's something that we can discover about the world later on as well. But we do have these two demons that are helping us out. The one that rescued Ray on the demon horse type back thing, whatever the hell that thing was. And then the woman that is guided the children and Emma to the sanctuary. But yeah, we are now going to find out exactly why they're helping us and what they intend to do with us. They didn't seem to recognize the name William Minerva, who was the pen name that we've been following in all the books and stuff. So I don't know if that's just them being, like, willingly ignorant of it, just to not say anything. I don't know if they're hiding it, or if they genuinely just do not know who William Minerva is. Maybe they know him as a different name? Maybe it's an anagram or something? I don't know if William Minerva could be an anagram of anything necessarily, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it was just a weird first episode. Hopefully this episode can get me back into it. Because I don't think the first episode really captured me as I kind of hoped it would, but I'm along for the ride. Like, I'm watching a second season. I'm along for the ride anyway. You don't really need to completely, absolutely grip me in from episode 1, although it definitely helps. So I'm not going to hold it against it too much, but I feel like the pacing of that reveal was way too fast, personally. Just to get that reveal by episode 1, I don't think that was necessarily important enough to do, but we'll see. In the grand scheme of things, how it ends up being. So, as per usual, here on YouTube, we do time-based format reactions. Bottom left of the screen, you'll see the timer for the episode. I'll count you down 3, 2, 1, play. Now, play, you start the episode, I start the episode, and we'll be in sync. We are watching Smart Funimation as per usual, since that's who likes it this season. Last week, they did it a day early than normal broadcast. This time, we're back to normal, so it must have been just a one-off thing. Sales at work isn't, unfortunately, so I'm always going to be like 2 days behind on that, which is kind of annoying, but we've just got to work with it. Yeah, if you want to see full picture-in-picture versions of these reactions, you can go to my Patreon down in the description. Just £4 a month gets you access to all the videos I do, which is, at this point, close to 30 videos a month. A week, sorry. 30 videos a week. So, if you haven't turned email notifications off on Patreon, I might recommend you do that, unless you want 30 emails a week, and up to 5 a day. That's your choice. That's your choice, though. I messed up choice and call. Your chawl. Anyway. But yeah, we've got the Aniplex logo, then the Funimation logo, so about 12 seconds of logos to get us into it. I'll call them out as they go past. You can also use screen flash on my face or mic to tell when it's transitioning. So, Episode 2 of Promised Neverland. Let's get into this, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Amplex. Ooh, my headset is currently off. This side. Animation. Cheers. That would have been bad if I had no audio. Here we go. OP time. The volume mix is just so off on this. I don't know what it is. We've seen this animation before, haven't we? I know we've definitely heard the song. I think we have seen this animation. Maybe we haven't, actually. I don't remember it. I'm just going to turn this up to max real quick. Yeah, we've seen this animation on Phase. And obviously, it doesn't compare to first seasons, I don't think. Like, in both terms of, like, visually and song-wise. And, as people noticed, there's an absent gap on the right. I wonder why. Okay. Here we go. I will talk about the OP a bit later, because I do have something to say. But this is more important right now. That's a creepy smile. Yeah, no, it's not what you think it is. They're just being unnecessarily creepy. Mm-hmm. Ooh. They're gonna be absolutely fine. They're intriguing characters. Yeah, look at all the food they got. Mujika Sonju. Okay. They're essentially vegetarian demons. The hell is this creature on the right? That thing looked really interesting. Mm-hmm. Very quick to trust them, considering what they've been through. But still. It's like being back. They have their own ritual. Somewhat reminiscent of being in the farm, though. And having Mama. I miss Isabella so much. I hope she makes a return in some form. So for now, they're trustworthy. Obviously. Yes. Right, yeah. Fascination with the brain. Religious? Huh? What faith is that? Okay. Hmm. But you've talked to humans before. That's what that implies. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. It's been longer than 30. I. No, this is still Earth. Okay. But it's been longer than 30 years. This is really interesting. World building is. I love more than anything. But you exhausted all of them. Hmm. As expected. Full out war, essentially. Way. Okay. But. Oh. Interesting that humans propose that. There are two sides of the world. Oh, wow. Oh. Interesting. That's interesting if true. Jesus. It's 1,000 years ago. Wow. Where's the split? Is it literally just half the planet? There's a half of the world we can get to? That world doesn't exist, does it? That's gone. Humans died out, didn't they? Oh, you just can't cross. Right. Hmm. That's what I heard. That a loss is what's just been told. It's not been confirmed. It's good for them to hope, but it's setting them up for another fall, right? And Sonju knows. It's like if it's true, what are we going to see when we exit the forest? Though I wonder. And was he being 100% truthful? We don't know about that either. What did that say? Nice. Hmm. Okay. Ah. Mm-hmm. Obviously, yeah. I don't know how they can be surprised by that, but mm, it's an idea. But of course not. I don't know how that worked, to be honest. Really, fair. One's going to die. At least one of these characters is going to die. Okay. Eee. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. We Eurocamp Apocalypse Edition. Apocalypse Edition. Yep. Very scary. Low source is also just nodding along. Mm-hmm. Overall, quite a positive episode so far. Learning a lot as well. Copying down maps. Pricing archery, okay. Nice. Okay. Hmm. Right. Would they be able to track the human scent? Slightly concerned about that. Mm-hmm. Ah. Okay. Makes sense. Yep. Psychological fit. Good shot. I assume she hit. Don't know if she did. Yep, she did. Where's the arrow? Ah. Interesting. Okay. That's very handy. Which means. This means. Yeah. What was her name? Was it Connie? Yep. Not Norman yet. Not yet. I'm not certain about that at all. It's an important moment for her, though. Yeah, when you look like that, that's a lie. It's going to feel odd if we're about to escape the forest and presumably leave these two characters behind, and yet they've got a whole ED dedicated to them. They get, by the grace of the gods, dedicated an entire ED to the Nekomimi characters that did appear often, but like for brief moments. So I suppose it's not that absurd, is it? And this does do some atmospheric stuff as well. So that's Norman. Norman is not dead. There's no way. In a show where they've shown character deaths before, his fate was so ambiguous that he's got to be alive for some reason. What reason, I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. Alright, is that it? That is it. Okay. Okay. That was a much better episode. I enjoyed that one a lot more than episode 1. There was a lot of world-building information stuff there, assuming it's all true. Now, here's the thing. This is what Senju, is that his name? Or Sonju? Sonju, not Senju. That's what Sonju had been told, and the history that he's known for 1,000 years. That's not necessarily what actually happened, and humanity to make an agreement that lasts 1,000 years? Not to be too cynical about humanity, but we can barely hold promises for a couple of decades. Heck, we can barely last promises for years. So, a 1,000-year truce between humanity and demons? I don't think that would have lasted. Like, call me pessimistic, but I don't know if that necessarily would have lasted. Also, humans suggesting the split. I mean, if they were to suggest it, it would make sense to come from them rather than the demon side of things. The demons didn't seem, well, from what we've seen of them, don't seem to be the most logical of thinkers necessarily, but it might be just the impression we've got because we've dealt with mostly bad ones, but they seem to run like a farm and run a business essentially there to a certain degree, so they could have probably suggested something like that. Anyway, yes, I want to discuss the OP real quick because I said this last time and I said this this episode as well, how the volume mix sounds really off. I watch these anime episodes at around about half volume or so, just so I can hear the episode decently well, which is usually more than enough, but also so I can hear myself talk when I'm saying something, because if I don't hear myself talk, I don't know how to regulate my volume properly, for obviously in the mic, and I also can lose train of my own thought a little at times if I'm overpowering it and just constantly hearing loud. So I usually keep it about half volume. And there's actually a very noticeable difference, at least I find, with the Funimation version of half volume and full volume in the OP. Like at half volume, a lot of the volume mixing for certain parts of the OP just mesh together and it becomes very, very flat. However, once you put the volume back up to max, which is what I did briefly for that one for the OP, you can hear everything at its certain levels, and it separates a little more and became more of a coherent piece of music. I have no idea how that's possible. I've never really encountered an OP that does that before. Like, normally I love every single OP that's at half volume. I've never really had a problem with an OP. It's either not been my music style, or I've absolutely loved it, really. This is the first one I've really noticed where the volume mix is really off just at half volume. I have no idea what could even explain that, but yeah, putting up to max volume, I appreciated the OP a bit more. So maybe if I went and found the full version of the OP, what is the name of this OP? I really wish AniList added this feature, but I guess we'll go through Mal for now. The opening theme is Identity by Kiro Akiyama. Let's see if there is a full version of this up, or even just the normal version. Kiro Akiyama. Looks like there might be a full version. Yes, it looks like there are full versions of this out. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so I'll have to go listen to that properly and give it a fair shout, whether I actually enjoy the OP or not. Unfortunately, I don't think it compares to Season 1's, but Season 1's was pretty iconic at this point, so it was always going to be tough to live up to. Sequels always have a problem, because especially when you start a show, that OP becomes synonymous with the show to an extent, and like especially a high-profile show, it's hard for subsequent OPs to then be like really capture that same one. Although you have shows like My Hero Academia, which has had really banging OPs ever since the first one as well, so, you know, sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. I don't think this one has necessarily hit it to the same extent, but yeah. Very good episode, nonetheless, and like I said, world building, I love world building. Whenever you can build up your world and make it feel more real, it's always a good thing for me. It's why I love Descendants of Bookworm, it's why I love so many isekai shows that really bother to put some effort into world building, because you can build up your character, sure, but if they're not in a world that actually challenges them and has meaning, kind of falls a little flat in some instances. So, always love world building, and yeah, they're ambiguous enough with this that if they want to say, oh no, this was never true, they've set it up perfectly in order to do that. Like, oh, this agreement has lasted 1,000 years. No one's ever crossed between the borders. It's like, in 1,000 years, no one's successfully done it. No one's even tried it. Okay. Yeah, you know someone's tried it. And, or, a side broke the promise. 1,000-year promises don't last long. They just don't last. Like, I very much doubt that would be the case. So, I'm expecting this to be a bit more grim, but I guess we'll see. So, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did. Leave a like if you did. As per usual, it helps grow the channel out. As do your comments on what you thought of the episode. Don't forget to hit subscribe as well to see next week's episode, as well as the rest of the Winter 2021 lineup you can find on the channel. I will say briefly, not many people are going to hear this bit because it's right at the end, but Quintessential Quintuplets is not going to be on this channel. I had originally planned for it, but it's a 6-show day if I included that, and it's not feasible for me to do it, and postponing it would not really be feasible as well, because I've got all the Patreon request shows as well that are taking up empty spots, and I'm not dropping any of the shows this season, and if I'm to be perfectly honest, of the sequels today, which is Eurocamp, Dr. Stone, and this, I would much rather watch these 3 than watch Quintessential Quintuplets. And that's my honest opinion on that. And then we got Higurashi returning as well, so it's like, yeah, that's my honest thoughts. Of all the sequels, Quintuplets was at the bottom of my list, so it being sacrificed for the sake of having a manageable timeline, it's just the way it has to be for now. If it gets recommended in the future, maybe I can watch it, or if I find a spot, maybe if I drop a show for some reason, maybe I can try and find a spot in there, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. But I'll have a look and try in the future anyway. So, that's going to do it for you guys. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, see you guys later.